people of Ghana, is your Nigerian Get Pleasure, bringing you political news in a channel automatic. We've called up Atatia to complain to him about comments he made about John Mahama. He said he didn't say anything about it, he denied it, and said it was Dr. Duffuor who said that. Please search.
Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia and John Dramani Mahama. No, so you see, in American politics, there was something called Dirty Tricks campaign. And they had Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon was paid the biggest price for engaging in so-called Dirty Tricks campaign. This is the building called Watergate, where Mr. Nixon in the early 70s, I said 71, but somebody just texted me that it could have been 73, so I'm not sure. But it's in the early 70s. This is Watergate. Now, what is Watergate about? Now, Watergate was a place where the Democratic Party held some meetings. And the story is that Nixon, the president, and his people had planted tape recorders inside the place where the Democratic Party were having their meetings, called the Watergate building. And they had received the information of the Democratic Party so that they could sort of realign. It was a spy work that was thought to be immoral, it was thought to be unconscionable, and it was thought to be anti-democratic. As a result of that, Congress took the matter up, and eventually President Nixon resigned from his office. And that's how Gerald Ford became American president, because he was vice president. I salute you, Mr. Nixon. He's one of the greatest politicians of the post-Second World War era in the world. Nixon was a real big brain. He's a real creative person. Fantastic politician. He died, but he was a great man. So that's Dirty Tricks Department. When we say Dirty Tricks Department, I'm beginning to feel that the MPP and the NDC are also doing Dirty Tricks Department, and I'll show you why. Let me start with this one. Let's show me the video of Atachian first, and then I'll tell you the conversation I had with Atta and what he told me, how he explained it. Show me the Atachian video.
Economies here. Nehojo. Onyansafu oba. Onyansafu awanomusa. Onyami achira yo, onyami achira. And I may catch him say, Ghana, Benya, Onyansafu awanomusa.
Apologize, I'm continue.
Mumpewe na mupasutro. Obi kaso onyami achira yo.
Not just that, NDC is just playing a propaganda game. They are still playing dirty tricks to make sure the election is favored by them.
So then I saw it on social. Where's my phone? I saw it on a social media, and people were texting me and sending to me that, you see your man. Have you seen your man? So I called Atta. I call him Leonard or Nyaminipa. Atta likes to be referred to as Nyaminipa. So he picked up the call. He calls me the excellent one. So when I say, oh, the excellent one, I say, Nyaminipa. He said, oh, Koda, they need the D. I said, Atta, but I have a problem. He said, what is it? I said, what did you go and say in Chibi? He said, about what? I was campaigning. I said, but why are you calling John Mahama names? He said, me. I didn't do that. I said, but I've seen your video. He said, which video? Send it to me. I sent it to him. Then he called me back. He was laughing. He said, Leonard, but what did I say? I didn't accuse John Mahama of anything. I said that our candidate does not do X, Y, Z. And I said, oh, but if you say that our candidate does not do X, Y, Z, you are indirectly implying that the opponents, because Bawumia has only one opponent in this election. John Mahama has only one opponent in this election. Bawumia doesn't have many opponents. So if you say that our candidate does not do X, Y, Z, then it's presuming that by intelligence analysis, that the other candidate does that. He said, T. So the argument was getting heated between Atta and I. T. Jai, sao journalism. Jai. I said, Dr. Duffuor is the one who said it. So I said, Dr. Duffuor? He said, yes. Now Dr. Duffuor can't want it. Dr. Duffuor, I couldn't see how Dr. Duffuor, looking at him, his demeanor, and I know him very well, will say something like that. So I challenged Atta that I don't believe you, Atta. I don't believe this is part of your trasicals you are doing. He said, it's not trasicals. So he was arguing with me on the phone. He said, are you on your phone? I said, yes, I've just sent you something. So I opened it. It was a letter that Dr. Duffuor wrote to Johnson Asiedu Ketia, General Secretary as he then was. Have a look at the letter. Please, post the letter. Now, this is a letter written by Kwabena Duffuor, and it's written to the General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, headquarters Accra, 2023. Dear Sir, urgent matters for concern. Now, let's look at the matters Dr. Duffuor addressed. He says as follows. We write with felicitations to the national executives, our dear delegates, and to all supporters of our cherished National Democratic Congress. It is a crunch moment, and we cannot take chances. Looking at how desperate the governing New Patriotic Party is to hold on to power. After they have created economic crisis in Ghana due to mismanagement of the economy, they still want to remain in power to create more hardship for Ghanaians. As a party, we find ourselves at crossroads to choose between a candidate who is blemished with scandals and one with
every
the
evidence,
proven...
you see that it was actually Dr. Kwabena Duffuor that said what they said Atta said. He even wrote it as a letter to former chairman of NDC, Asedun Ketia.
Economic record, track record. All around the world, Dr. Duffuor continues, the biggest issue is how to tackle the cost of living challenges. Therefore, the December 7, 2004 leadership race in Ghana is all about the economy. Team Duffuor wants to bring to the attention of our cherished delegates and party executives that Ghanaians are looking up to the NDC to elect a flag bearer who can roll out policies that can fix the economy within 2 years. Therefore, we need to present a presidential candidate who is sincere and whose political record is not tainted in any way. The current economic challenges require that we do not need a flag bearer. Now, this is the critical part. He says, the current economic challenges require that we do not need a flag bearer who has been described as a government official, one, in the Airbus scandal and confirmed as such by the former special prosecutor Martin Amidu. The NDC does not need a flag bearer who will take the party and its structures for granted, like we have seen over the years. The current times in which we are requires that we do not elect a flag bearer with a serious alcohol addiction issues. We need a flag bearer who can be sober enough to tackle the challenges that we face as a country. It is for the above reasons that blah, 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 blah. So Dr. Duffuor said, in the current times in which we are, requires that we do not elect a flag bearer with serious alcohol addiction issues. My goodness. But why? What was Dr. Duffuor? What did he mean by that? I mean, when Atta sent it to me, I've never seen this letter before. In fact, this evening I was telling Apreku, my producer, I have never seen this letter before. And he was explaining to me that, Apreku, bring back the letter, that it's an internal memo that may have leaked. So he pointed it out to me. So he was telling me that I should look at the base here. It is received. This is a letter to NDC. It's an internal memo that was received. We just blocked out the number of the person who received it so people don't start calling him. But he was telling me that this is an internal memo. So I was trying to understand how did it leak. But Atachia is telling me that this is where this Dr. Duffuor who said it. But Dr. Duffuor didn't make reference to anybody. But I think that this is an internal NDC memo. In spite of that, I don't think that the MPP should be calling their opponents names of alcohol addiction. I mean, this is a man who's been president of Ghana for 4 years. He's vice president for 4 years. Can an alcohol addiction person be president for 4 years? 4 years. If you're addicted to alcohol, can you be president for? People are addicted to alcohol every day. Every day. That's what addiction means. So please, but I mean, my hands were tied. I was going to hit Atta so hard. So I picked my phone. I called Miracles. I said, Baba, what did you say on news file? Now, I'm now on Miracles, if you have his photograph. But I finished with Atta. I called Miracles. And I said, what did you say on news file? He said, he calls me senior. I said, senior, I didn't say anything. When I was concluding about Dr. Bawumia, I said that our flag bearer is not corrupt. And he is not a drunkard. This is what Miracles said. He said. And I said, but Miracles, if you say that, what do you mean? He said, Baba, but I haven't mentioned anybody's name. They mentioned Bawumia's name and said Bawumia is a liar. I didn't mention names. I said, you can say Bawumia is a liar all you want. But our flag bearer, Dr. Bawumia, is not corrupt. He's not government official one. And he's not a drunkard. That's what Miracles said. He's told the news file. But, I mean, viewers, you should help me. Is that a campaign that is something we can go on with? This is the NDC side. I'm coming to the MPP side. This is the MPP side. I'm coming to the NDC side. So I engaged with Miracles and Atta. Both of them said that they didn't mention anybody's name. And it's true they didn't mention anybody's name. They didn't. But the connotation, I was shocked when Atta said, Dr. Duffuor said it, and I'm going to send you. He did, and I've just shared the letter with you. I don't know what to make of
Please
it.
do it with put on a notification so you get all our news from that. Thank you.